Hello, folks. Welcome back. Full Bore Silver, Tuesday, March 10th, day 11 of Operation Epstein Fury. That's right. Now we have a new ratio to look at. The gold-silver ratio, that's out the window. What the new ratio is, oil to silver, both trading at about the same level. Oil, 86. Silver, fairly strong today at 88. Really, what I'd like to see is silver breach 90, and then above that, 91.35. But really, I'd like to see it above 96.40 so we can continue our rise up. We've been consolidating, chopping around a bit. I don't think it really takes flight until 96.40, but there is good resilience at this point. Oil, again, monstrous move Sunday with there's 120 a barrel. Then somebody interested in oil per barrel price went in there and nuked it back into the 80s. This from Reuters, quoting a confidential senior White House official. Treasury plans to short oil futures next week to drive prices down. This is incredible. Whether this story is fabricated or legit, obviously this is in Howard Lutnick's and Scott Bessent's wheelhouse, the ability to short. Lutnick with that brilliant airline short right before 9/11/01. Then he's well versed in the stock market game, the shorts and the wash trades and the spoofing, etc. This is old hat for these guys. I don't know what favors you're going to do American consumers. Oil is a global market, and if you're a producer somewhere other than America that has a captive audience and captive bunch of consumers, you're going to sell it for 200 a barrel in some oil-strapped country like Taiwan or Singapore or Japan. You're not going to sell it into the American market for a fraction of that. I mean, it's the same damn mentality as the COMEX silver shorting and spoofing. You want to adjust it down for the paper traders here in America, they're just going to suck it out, and it's going to go to markets like India and China. This is beyond wild that this is our economic policy now. Uranium was up today, copper up today, graphite. Big shout out to the listener that turned me on to hydrograph. They moved their headquarters to Austin. Mosey on over there, see if I can chat with their customer relations. I'm sitting on 103% return on my hydrograph position. Good looking out there. Thank you for that. I've got a couple other graphene positions as well. Emerging technology, possibly the strongest and possibly something that could equal silver in conductivity. Very interesting material, still researching it with very, very small micro positions in the graphene. Interesting to watch nonetheless. The largest beneficiary of this Iran conflict and this war and the closing of the Straits of Hormuz really is Russia. They will emerge as the largest global exporter of oil after all is said and done. We probably just balance their budgets and put them in an economic situation that's going to be favorable for years to come. So unintended consequences, right? So in Israel, the small little backward cave dwellers, they're doing pretty well, the Iranians. Ben Gvir dead, Netanyahu's brother dead, Netanyahu's house blown up, and David Barnea, the head of the Mossad, Israeli intelligence, dead. Just incredible, some of the information coming out, and trying to analyze it from both sides and stay fairly objective on this. Seems to be a deepening quagmire, this quick hit regime change dealio like we had in Venezuela. It seems to be a different paradigm over there. You really have a 3,000 to 5,000 year old culture in the Persian Empire. In fact, they had another conflict with another world power that lasted for 700 years. Hopefully, we're not embroiled for 700 years, but the Romans and the Persians battled for 700 years, and the Persians defeated decisively the Romans, the mighty Roman Empire, 5 separate times. From 53 BC, the Battle of Caria, which was actually when Rome was still a republic. And then you've got 4 other battles that went until 363 AD. They actually captured Emperor Valerian, the Persians did. Even when you're the big bad boy on the block with the Roman legions and the latest of weaponry and tactics, when you've got a stretched supply chain, your logistics are much more complicated, and you are assaulting a mountain fortress, very motivated defenders. It is a difficult endeavor. Some of the commenters really took issue for me with not wanting to get embroiled in this Iranian conflict. Here we are, $39 trillion in debt. We can't even fight a war in Minnesota against the Somali pirates and win. I mean, we pulled out of there. I guess those guys won, but now we're embroiled in this new endeavor. But I will say that you do join, if you support the war, you join a proud line of Americans like Lyman Leominster, Curtis LeMay, the Dulles brothers, some of the real war hawks from the 40s, 50s, and 60s that were running things. You've got those crazy conspiracy theorists that say 1 or 2 or more than that. They've had a hand in the erasure of a certain John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Leominster, he was the guy who was in charge of Operation Northwoods that was proposed to Kennedy, which he was shot down. Little pun there for you. The idea was floated to send an American aircraft full of American tourists over the Caribbean and then shoot it down and blame the Cubans as a false flag to get involved with an invasion of Cuba. You have Curtis LeMay, storied World War II career. He was the guy mainly in charge of firebombing civilians in different Japanese cities, many of them Christian, in fact. The Dulles brothers, of course, you had Allen, who was head of the CIA, John Foster Dulles, Secretary of State. So they controlled quite a bit of the intelligence state back in the early 60s. They were responsible for a lot of the regime change wars throughout South America, Central America, all over the world, really. The Banana Wars. Storied history there. There are definitely dissenting opinions on both sides, and I welcome differences of opinion and debate. And so I do really appreciate your comments, even if you disagree with my disavowal of this war. Silver and gold in the chop zone here. Again, I'm not really concerned with any short-term silver movements until we pop over that 96 level. And I think it's rocket ship. I will make this prediction right here. If this war continues, the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, the refineries really do have to shut down. Then they have to cap the wells. It's going to be months and even years until regular production of flow of 20 million barrels a day is going through that strait. And my prediction for 2026 is $200 a barrel oil and $200 silver, keeping us at that 1-to-1. Right now, we're basically at that 1-to-1 with 88s. The 88s, if we continue down the path we're on, it's going to be same ratio, 200, different level. All in all, just a very interesting pivot from Trump himself and the administration, even bits, Tulsi Gabbard and Hegseth claiming he was a reformed neocon, especially J.D. Vance. You haven't heard much out of him. Trump 2016 is much different than the Trump of today. And then a year ago, the run-up to the election, if you elect Kamala, you're going to get World War III. She's going to bring us to war. Well, very different tone now. Take a look at this clip.
We should have never gone into the Middle East. We should have never gone into the Middle East. Under my leadership, we will turn the page forever on those foolish, stupid days of never-ending wars. We're rebuilding our military stronger than ever before, and we are not going to deplete it again on stupid, senseless, endless wars. World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America last globalists and the deep state. I am the president who delivers peace. I was the first president in decades who didn't start a war. And the worst, most incompetent, most corrupt president in history is going to drag us into World War III. And this horrible, horrible president is dragging us toward World War III. We're going to be in World War III soon, because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran. Large sections of the Middle East. I mean, look at the death and destruction that's taken place. It's what would happen if we had a war. We won't with me, but you will have World War III, I believe, without me.
Quite a pivot, different posture, and take that for what you will. One other interesting bit I saw last night, and boy, it's all over today on X. Declassified CIA doc from the 50s, stolen from Russia. Cancer parasites operate in the same manner on mitochondrial substrate as antiparasitic treatments. So it turns out they had quite a bit more information than they were letting on about cancer. Of course, you can't make much money on the antiparasitic treatments. You can make a hell of a lot of money on chemotherapy and some of these others, but that is why Tractor Supply is my cancer clinic. What I like to do is go down, and now this isn't medical advice, but I like to go double barrel apple flavor. Yeah, that is good stuff right there. Especially you're working around the farm animals with the American food supply. You got to watch out for this stuff. Glyphosate administration just gave indemnity to Bayer, a German company that makes all the Roundup, which has glyphosate, which is basically Miracle Grow for cancer. We got that sprayed on all the crops. It's interesting. You look at a map of America where the glyphosate usage is, especially in the Central Plains area where a lot of crops are grown, soybean, all that, the rest of that crap, and directly correlated to cancer rates and glyphosate rates. But they have indemnity now, so I guess that's making America healthy again. But we're going to stick to good old Tractor Supply. We're going to go double barrel. Again, not medical advice. Anyway, that's it for today. Full Bore Silver. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. We'll talk to you soon.